key reason here. So, Leah, firstly, wanted to introduce yourself. Hopefully, you recognise some of the programme, but also it's changing and evolving going into next year. But firstly, Leah, tell us about the college you're at and the role you've played this year, linked to the Leadership Academy and the Student Leadership Programme.
So my name is Leah. I go to Blackburn College and I am the mental health ambassador. Through this role, I have promoted the benefits of taking part in physical activity for students' physical and mental health. Parts of my role have been helping out at our daily enrichment sessions and ensuring that we're providing a safe, welcoming and engaging environment for all of the students. I have also supported our college teams through this role by attending the training sessions, going with them to their tournaments throughout the year. And I have also been able to assist the delivery of our level 1 BTEC sports course through the role too.
So just a small selection there, I'm sure, Leah.
Yeah.
Amongst so many other things that have gone on. And my next question was going to be, tell us about some of the opportunities you've had. Are there any of those that you want to go into a little bit more detail of?
Oh, there's so many.
How has it come about? How has that happened for you? You know, from putting your hand up to say, I want to be an ambassador, I want to do a little bit more. What's that process and journey been like since that moment?
So when I first applied for the role, I will be fully honest, I didn't realise the amount of things that you could do with this role as a student. And I think it was when I attended the first leadership development day that we got to go to, and I got to meet other students from different colleges who shared similar interests to mine. And I was hearing all of their ideas and I was like, wow, there is a lot that I can do here for my college to help out. So as soon as I'd been to that first meeting, I came back and I was like, wow, what can I do? And that's when I first really learned about the training and qualifications that we can do through the role. And for me, those training and qualifications really kind of pushed me up, gave me that knowledge that then allowed me to use that in practice and be able to volunteer for all of these opportunities in college. And it was also a way for my tutors to see as well, to kind of give me that trust and give me those responsibilities. So it just kind of went from there, kind of.
Okay. What were some of the ideas that you heard about? What was some of the things that stood
At the
out
leadership development days?
Yeah, what was the... It sounds like that was a real kind of moment for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Uncertainty to, I really want to make a difference and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I was listening to students who were saying that they've organised their own kind of enrichment sessions at their own colleges. They've done girls-only sports teams, and really kind of diversified what my college had on offer. And instantly I was like, we have the facilities, we have the equipment, we have the students, let's do it. I'm going to try and make that change.
And what happened then? That's all great. Like, you and I are both very excitable people. We want to make a difference. I've said already about world changing, influential, you know, all the big words that I will throw at everybody. Doesn't always work though, right? Like, there's got to be something in the middle that goes from we want to make this change to we are making the change. How did that kind of pan out in the sessions that you then tried to put together?
Oh, so first of all, I spoke to Carla, who's our extracurricular coordinator at college. And I kind of wrote down some ideas, and my first ideas were definitely girls' football teams, because that wasn't something that we had on offer. And from speaking to students around college, a lot of them said that if this was available, we would come to this. Something else I also did to kind of not just because I had all of these ideas, but then I thought, what if the students don't like them? So I went and spoke to the students around college, went to the different courses, and I was like, what would you like to see? And I got a list of ideas from there. I went to Carla, I kind of presented them to her, and she was like, let's do it. And I'm really grateful that I've had someone like Carla who's put that trust in me, and every kind of idea that I've had, she's been like, let's do it. So that's definitely helped.
I realised there I'm meant to be clicking onto your photos as we're talking. So I was definitely meant to be doing this as we were going. I think that's true. And also thank you to John for the question. If there are others as you're listening to Leah and I speak, please drop them in the chat. I've got a few written in front of me to start us off, but if there are others that we're speaking about, chuck them in and we'll definitely try and answer as many as we can. It sounds like that the role that Carla's played, I'm sure there are ideas you've had that she's not been able to say yes to. Don't believe that we can do everything all of the time. But before that, you mentioned how being involved, you said it again in that same sentence, around trust of your tutors, of other staff. And I think you were trying to lean towards sort of the impact that's had on your sort of wider college experience. Is there anything that you can add to? I guess that's, for me, that's kind of a really pivotal point, especially for those listening, is the role that the staff and college support have played to make this happen and make you feel like you can be empowered to make a difference and to put your ideas forwards and not feel like you need to hold on to them because they won't be listened to.
Yes, definitely. So obviously, as I was a student as well, I did have my studies to think about at the same time. And with all of these ideas, if I could have said, right, I'm going to devote every single day to giving all these opportunities to students, I would have, but I would have had to, there was a point where I had to decide, how am I going to complete all of my studies, get these assignments done, but also be able to be actively involved with what's going on at college. So my tutors were fantastic. There's been times where they've said, if I've had to kind of miss a lesson, if I've been going away for tournaments and supporting our teams, they've said, okay, let's work out a different time. We'll sit with you. We'll make sure you're caught up. And it is just all, like, without them, I wouldn't not been able to do what I've been able to do. And that's what it comes down to, trust. But as a student's point of view, I've also had to prove to them as well that actually, my grades won't fall if I'm spending all this time away, and that's worked out, thankfully. But something I would like to say about the roles in general is, especially for everyone listening, is the role is what you make it. And we have other ambassadors at the college who have done their things with the roles. And for me, I would say I've kept it as I've put my all into it, because I really knew that I had this power, which not a lot of students get. And I was really grateful for that. And I thought, I just want to make a difference. From the very beginning, that's all I've wanted to do, make that difference. And yeah, it's difficult to explain, but you say from your students, obviously I'm a sports student, so I'm very involved with the sport department, but we have ambassadors from all different courses around college, which is good because you get that extra perspective in. But it doesn't have to be so time consuming and your whole college life is kind of ambassador. But yeah, I would say for me, in general, I just feel so grateful to have had the opportunity, because it's genuinely changed not just my college life and my relationship with the students, but my outside life as well. Like, I'm a football coach outside of college, which this kind of links back to the training and qualifications that I've been able to get through the ambassador role. I've covered topics such as inspiring positive behaviour in sport, safeguarding, mental health awareness, and to be able to go to my boss and say, this is what I've done. And he's like, how are you doing all of this? And I'm like, my ambassador role, that's how I'm doing it. Yeah, it's helped me in every kind of element, and it really has. This role has made me who I am today.
That's a great line to leave that point on. I just wanted to pick up on what you said of not all ambassadors are sports students. I think there was a question from John. I'm not sure if you can see these comments. John is absolutely hyping you up in the chat. That half of our ambassadors in our programs, there's several hundred students that are part of the current leadership program that we've got. Over half of them don't study sport, but they recognise the role that being an ambassador can play in several things that Leah's just said, thinking about future planning, what's coming next, but also just wanting to make a difference, just wanting to use their skills and knowledge and passions through sport to engage other students to be themselves. And I think that's possibly some of what that question is. So Leah, I'll come back to our questions in a minute, but the one that John did ask is, how can we involve students that don't normally like sport?
Oh, so what I've done for my college is, again, I visited tutor groups. I've been in and spoke to them as a fellow student, not just sent in other tutors from sport or sent in Carla, for example, who I spoke about before. I've been in as a student and told them my own personal experience, because even for me, participating in sport, that is what I love the most for kind of that stress relief. It's so good for your mental health and well-being. And I think going in and building that rapport with students and kind of letting them know, kind of I'll be there, and kind of, I don't know how to say it in the right way, but just being kind of on their level, and hearing what they have to say and putting that into place. If I go and visit a tutor group and someone says to me, I want to do, let's just say a random, like cricket, for example, and I'll say, okay, yeah, this is what we can do. This is when we can do it. This is the time we can do it. They're being heard, they'll feel appreciated, and then they'll come down. But it's also with our enrichment sessions, we have students come from all over college. We're going straight from ESOL to foundation, all the way up to A-levels, degree. And as soon as I go into enrichment, the first thing I do, welcome everybody. How's your day been? I'm constantly, I'm talking to them throughout. And then if they enjoy it, they're then going to go and tell their friends that they enjoy it. And I've noticed that throughout. At the beginning, I'd say our enrichment sessions were just, there was enough, but it wasn't packed. By the end of the year, we've had to set up several courts. We have to keep, because loads and loads and loads of people are coming, because it is that word of mouth. There's also been a point where I've handed out leaflets to students at break times, dinner times. And something else that myself and Carla both do is we run a social media. So we both run an Instagram page, and I run it from a student's point of view and share everything that's going on in college life, any opportunities within college, within the local area, celebrate college achievements. And I have nearly 1,000 students from my college follow me on that Instagram page alone. That's just mine, never mind Carla's as well. So that's something we decided to do because we know that a lot of students use social media. That's how we can reach them. And I get messages every day. When's football on? When's netball on? Can I come and join? Can I do this? So that's definitely what I'd recommend.
Just out of interest, I've never asked you this, but I'm curious. At Blackburn, is there a set time in the week for enrichment, or in people's timetables? Is there enrichment slotted in so that people have got the chance to go, or how does it work? If I was a student, to be able to make time to come to one of these things that you're running?
So our main enrichment sessions run from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock every day, because that's dinner time for everybody. And sometimes we get students that come in at 12:30, so they've been and got dinner. But we sometimes have students that come in from 12 to 1 and they'll eat the dinner there with us. But we also offer enrichment after college time. So we do 4:30 till 6 o'clock. And that's because we did face a bit of an issue with some students not wanting to give up their dinner time, which is completely understandable. So which is why we said, right, okay, let's do it outside of college time. And they've just spent the whole day in the classroom. They want to let off that steam, let off that energy. And that's been successful for us as well. So enrichment is on every day at dinner times and after college.
Is there anything, if you had a magic wand, that you could do to make or help more people to access enrichment? What's the one thing that would make the biggest difference in your opinion?
Oh, what I could do?
No, just generally, like, so if you could make one change, maybe it's not in your power, but it could be in the college's power.
Okay, something I've always wanted to do is kind of not like a breakfast club, but before college starts in the morning, let's get the students in, let's get them taking part in exercise before they go to lessons. Not only do I think this would improve attendance because students will be here on time, we know that on college campus, but I also think it'll get students ready for the day. And something we offer at my college is at 8:30 till 9:00, students can get free breakfast. So I said, if we did an enrichment from, let's say, 7:30 till 8:30 every morning, and then we can say to students, you can come to us, go and get your free breakfast, and you're going straight to lessons. And I just think that's something that I would personally do. And I've spoke about it with students a lot, and they've said, yeah, 100% I would do that. So if I could do anything, well, not anything, but in terms of enrichment, yeah, that's what it would be.
That would be. Okay, that's really interesting. There's so much research around the impact of physical activity before going to work, going to school, going to college, doing something. There's clearly something there to consider. It's an interesting thought. I've not thought. I didn't know where you would go with that question. So I'm as intrigued as everybody else listening to have heard that one. Yeah, I love that you've been able to create those extra opportunities. I think the challenge is, and it sounds like you've been able to do it with your ambassadors, is who then leads and facilitates that. But if you've got students that are running sessions for their peers, it kind of runs itself, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
Just need the good people to be in place to begin with. Okay, so you've touched on it a little bit. What have you been able to do for you this year as an ambassador? So you've told us about all the enrichment you run, the teams that you support, you've been in the classrooms, you run your social media. That's for everybody else, and undoubtedly has impact, whether you like to think about it or not, will have impacted so many people who are having a better time at college. Their college experience is built up on the moments you've been able to create. But what has this programme done for you? You've mentioned a little bit of some of the qualifications, but I wonder what else is in that kind of space.
First, I think we need to mention confidence, because from September to now, I am a completely different person. Even the fact that I'm on here today is kind of like a pinch me moment, because I'm like, I cannot believe that I'm doing this, because Leah 9 months ago would have been like, no, I'm too scared. But I think, so definitely confidence, but in general, just my skill set in terms of kind of that leadership. If one of my tutors say to me, can you go and do our level 1 lesson for us? I'm like, yeah, of course. And I don't have that worry anymore or that fear that I think I once had. And again, take that outside from college, that has helped me in so many different ways. And I'm going to go a little bit off track here, Sarah, if you don't mind.
No, you go.
But in terms of this year, I've been able to go to the AoC National Championships, which I feel like I need to talk about, because that for me I think that was the opportunity that pushed me outside of my comfort zone the most, but I achieved the most from and benefited the most from, because that was the first time I had been away and I wasn't with my college. I didn't have anyone to kind of fall back on. It was just me by myself. And I went from working with a class size number of students to hundreds of students. And because of those skills that I've been able to develop through the role in college, I then got to utilize them at huge events like that, a national championships, like Leah, who wouldn't even get up and speak in front of her classmates in September, is doing all of these huge things. So I would say definitely the skills, but also my self-belief that has definitely increased. And now I feel like I am capable of doing, I don't want to say anything, so I don't want to sound but if an opportunity comes up straight away without even thinking about it, I'm like, yes, 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 I'll do it. Because that's what this role, it's given me a whole different view on like outlook on life, because I'm like, there is so much out there. There is so much more than you can do. So yeah, like even when I talk about it, I just can't stop smiling because I'm like, I cannot believe I'm in this position. It's crazy. I can't believe it.
There's a number of people that have written in the chat. Well done, very inspiring. I'll read you the last one that's just dropped in from Don. Keep it up, no doubt many more young people would be inspired hearing from you. That's why you're here, Leah. No one needs to hear from me and colleagues anymore. It's certainly, your space. And I wonder if you would mind saying about what's happening next for you. So you've just finished your college program.
Yes.
You could be off. We could be losing you forever, but I know that we're not.
No, definitely not.
This is the exciting part of this program, is that students can and will use it to help them write in their CVs and UCAS points and getting into personal statements for getting into university, and certainly in job interviews talking about things that they've done and what's gone on to them. And we lose young people all the time to the world, but that's not happening for you.
No. So in September, I am starting an internship at the college, and I will be the first ever level 4 intern at Blackburn College. And that was offered to me because of all the work that I've done through the role, and to have my tutors actually approach me and ask me, is this something you would want to do? I'm like, yes, 100%. And alongside that internship, I will be doing a sports coaching degree, because outside of college, that's what I love doing, coaching, making a difference. And then recently, I have become part of the FE Youth Collective, which I am so excited about. I can't wait for that, which is another opportunity where I can make a difference. So yeah, it's definitely not over. I can't wait. I feel like it can only really, saying that, but I feel like it is going to just keep going up, and I'm so excited.
Selfishly, I'm very, very delighted that our sector's keeping you for a little while longer to continue all of the great work that you've started, but also just, as the people in the chat have been writing, your energy, and you are such an inspiring person that hopefully more people will get to listen to you over the coming months and year. I've got one last question that kind of splits into two, and then if there are any others, please do send them across to us. Last couple of minutes of the session though. So the last one that we prepared was, what's been your favourite moment of the year? Have you got one for us?
Okay. I haven't got one favourite. I can't pick a favourite, okay? But I do have something that I think is the most special that I've been able to see and do. And that is definitely the influence that I've been able to have on other students. So back in September, I was introduced to a student who came to one of my enrichment sessions, and he was visually impaired. And I had a conversation with him, and he told me he loves running. He really enjoys running. And that's not something that we had at that time. And after having this conversation with him, I was like, what can I do? I need to do something to make that difference. So I went away. This links back to the training and qualifications. I completed a training course with coaching people with visual impairments. And I thought, right, who do I know that loves running? Because at first I thought, oh, I'll go on a run. And then I thought, oh, no, maybe that's not the best idea, Leah. You can 5K, no. And then I have a friend in my class who is going to America in September doing running. So I approached him and I said, look, I have a student who absolutely loves running. He's visually impaired. Have you got any free time during the week where you would go on a run with him? And straight away, yeah, of course I will. So I introduced them both, and every week they have been going on a 5K run together on a Wednesday lunchtime, and they have built the best friendship ever. And just a few weeks ago, I got to watch them both compete at an athletics event. I got to go and watch them, and for me, and still to this day, that student, I think you can see him there on the picture, that student comes up to me every time he sees me, he says, thank you so much for what you did. No one did that for me. No one's ever done that for me. And you did it straight away. And to me, that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. And then another, I think, in terms of, for me personally, well, that's obviously personal, but taken away from college, my college nominated me for an award this year, which I did actually get, and that was in AoC Sport Inspirational Student of the Year. And that, for me personally, was like, you've done it. You've not just done it for all the shoot, which has been my aim from the beginning. I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing this for every student in this college. Yeah, but to be able to see that, I'm like, you've done it, Leah, you've done it. And I am proud of myself. And I think that's something which is really special, because there's not a lot of opportunities out there. And if Carly did not come up to me and say, we have this opportunity here where you can be an ambassador, I think, where would I be today? Because I would not be sat here. I would have not been to all these places I've been and have all this training and qualification and starting an internship. And it really has shaped this year, and I think it will continue to shape my future.
Yeah, thank you, Leah. We are out of time, so that's a really nice way to end. And I think the line you said was, if you didn't become an ambassador, none of this would have happened. Someone asked, there's over 100 colleges currently involved in our Leadership Academy programme at different levels and at different levels of commitment, in terms of some people don't use it fully, some use it for different elements. We're here for students like Leah. Yeah, Leah is amazing, John, fully agree, because I fundamentally believe that there's a little bit of magic in everybody, and we've got such an incredible opportunity to allow that to come to life and be put on show for young people to do what's important for them. So I'm going to end there. The last thing I need to try and do is just get to this last slide, just for everybody. If you are currently involved in the leadership program, or you want to find out more, please drop us an email at leadership@aoc.co.uk. Either myself or one of my colleagues will reply very quickly and send information. But also, if I can quickly drop off, we can put a link in the chat, which is an registering your interest sort of form, just to let us know that you want more information over the coming months. Everything we've spoken about is going to be available from September, so if you're involved, you might have already had information. If not, we really hope that you've taken something from Leah's sort of talk, the things that she's been able to do through support, through being at a college like yours, once given the opportunity. And I really hope that we get to meet again in the future with different things to come and go. Thank you, Leah, for sharing such a wonderful story, and all the great things you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who joined us this afternoon for this session. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday and a great rest of the learning week.